Hey man, hey, what's up? Well, I'm here today, or tonight, whatever time you're watching. I'm gonna do my ALW review. First off, I'd like to thank, ALW, for letting me commentate, their match and everything, for their pre-show. Thanks, guys. Alright, let's not waste any more time. Alright, so the first match of the evening, which was Stone Cold versus Goldberg in a steel cage match. This was kind of a back and forth battle. It seemed like Goldberg pretty much had Austin on the ropes pretty much every part of the match and everything, but really just taunted, and didn't really capitalize on it, which basically led to his downfall and Stone Cold able to get revenge on Goldberg, basically. Is this feud over? I wouldn't say so. I think there might be still some stuff left with this feud. Overall, this was a good opening match. It was interesting. Interesting to start off a CPV with a cage match, in my opinion. Usually, a cage match is kind of saved for maybe a mid to towards the main event, but I digress. This is not my colleague that I run, so Okay, so then we had the U.S. Spinner Belt Championship, which was Chris Benoit versus Owen Hart versus Goldust. It was like a TLC three-way match. It seemed like Owen Hart actually seemed like it was going to win the match, and then Goldust was seeming like that, and then all of a sudden, basically Benoit, hit the flying headbutt and got the 1-2-3. And Goldust was outside getting another table, and it would have been, I thought it would have been different. But Benoit becomes the first U.S. Spinner Belt champion. Personally, I'm not a fan of the spinner belt type, thing, but I grew up in the Attitude Era. Back in my day, we didn't have spinner belts, we had normal belts, but it doesn't like flair. Speaking of flair, we had Bret Hart versus Ric Flair in a 15-minute ultimate submission match, which is pretty much would actually be kind of a dream match, actually, really. I mean, what if Bret the Hitman Hart, who is a very good of a submission specialist, probably, maybe only, it'd be too close, it'd be probably maybe only second to Flair, maybe, maybe even first, probably. Flair might be a little bit less of a submission specialist, because Bret Hart's is just pure submission, So they go for about 15 minutes, and it is tied, I think, 1-1, maybe 2-2. I'm pretty sure maybe it was 2-2, and they have to go to a sudden death rule. But it pretty much goes for another 30-minute, really. It was supposed to be originally a 13-minute match, but it went 30 minutes, which that's the hard thing with these Iron Man matches. It's hard to keep the people. You gotta have high impact moves, and especially with these submission matches, because it's always holds and everything. It's very hard to go for long periods of time. But it kept me interested. It makes me intrigued if Bret was still with WWE today, which I would probably highly doubt that anyway, due to his relationship with Vince, But if some things were different back then, and he was still there, and Flair was there, would they actually have a match like this? I would say so, but I would doubt that it would never happen, because Bret just does not like Mr. McMahon. Alright, so we had a 6-way to crown the European Championship. This is kind of like how the fans picked their superstars, which was, I'm gonna, let's see, Christian Cage debuted, X-Pac, Yokozuna. Oh God. Hang on, I gotta think. I just need to get that. Hang on, just one sec, guys. And I'm sorry, I'm doing this a little towards the night because I have to do something on Friday. You know, I have some stuff to get through. Okay, so 6-part, which okay, let's see. Hang on, just skim through this. Yeah, hang on. It was Yokozuna, who was there, and X-Pac, who people were wondering if he was ever gonna come out, you know. And Y2J, Chris Jericho, you know, who were okay. And then we had Christian Cage, who was debuting as like the mystery opponent. Okay, so it was a 4-way. Excuse me, I thought it was 6-way. My bad. It's only a 4-way between Jericho, Cage, Yokozuna, and X-Pac. I think Cage went out first, and then Yokozuna was X-Pac and Christian Cage. Surprisingly, X-Pac is kind of a fan favorite with the ALW fans. You know, I like X-Pac. You know, he was awesome. You know, back in the glory days of DX, back when with the DX army. You know, when you gotta make an army, you gotta look at your blood. You gotta look at your friends. You gotta look towards the clique. You know, dang old yeah, I know that. Okay, so the next match was the Road Warriors, which I believe were taking on mixed martial arts, or Brock Lesnar and Ken Shamrock. You know, and I'm a huge Road Warrior mark. You know, they're from Chicago. Well, they were born in Chicago, though they trained in Minnesota, which was a little different, but if, in my opinion, they're technically Chicago boys. I was sad when I heard that Hawk passed away a few years ago. You know, I just wish that at least I hope they get into the I don't know if are they in the WWE Hall of Fame? I'm not sure, but you know, hopefully they'll get in sometime. You know, if they're not, because that's gotta be one of the tag teams that really put the WWE on the map. Trust me on that. But it was a ladder match, you know. Kind of a yap in this on that part because the ring was like, I think it was the SmackDown arena changed up when LOD came out. I was like, oh, that's a yap. So, you know, but this was a good match, you know. A lot of action, you know, and everything, you know. I'm happy that Road Warriors, aka Legion of Doom, they just have so many different names, actually, you know? It's hard to keep track of what name they technically are. Alright, so the undercard to the main event. This is the last match on the undercard, which was basically Team TNA taking on the McMahons, Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon, which it was Sting, and since Vince had pretty much banned everyone else from the arena, Sting got AJ Styles to come in, and it was a very classic fashion, old school match, you know. Luckily, Team TNA win. And, well, if people ask me, what do I prefer more, TNA or WWE, I probably would have to go towards, you know, like kind of like Zach is. I'm a wrestling fan, you know. I like if it's good.